Good evening and welcome to beautiful Case Arena in Frankfort, Indiana tonight. The site of our IHSAA volleyball matchup between the Frankfort Hot Dogs and the Tipton Blue Devils here in Case Arena. Tonight's game is brought to us by the Frankfort Eagles, number 976. They are people helping people. By Day and Ginda Funeral Homes, proud supporters of high school athletics in Clinton and Carroll County. By Healthy Communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. And by Mulberry Telecommunications, Mintel Fiber Services offer the best gig in town. Joined by Laura Archibald, I'm Sean Walker as we head into this it's not a conference matchup, so it's just an inter-conference. It's not inter, it's outer conference matchup. Just regular season matchup for these two teams. And coming into tonight, you have a team in Tipton who is 10-7 overall going against the Hot Dogs who are 10-12 overall. And when you look at who they've played, Laura, it's pretty well even.
It really is. The matchups are very, very close. Their common opponents have very, very close records. I think tonight will be an interesting matchup between the Hot Dogs and the Blue Devils. Both teams sport a young lineup. They have some mixed-in experience and also some young players that are in the mix.
Tonight's pregame show is brought to us by our friends at Day and Ginda Funeral Home, where they are putting family first. We're going to get our starting lineups announced here at Frankfort High School. When we return, we'll get you the starting lineups and our player to watch, brought to us by Fiberhawk right after this.
Frankfort Eagles 976 has bingo every Wednesday night. Early birds beginning at 6 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 7 p.m. Packets are $25 and includes every game you need to play. They also have Saturday bingo the first Saturday of every month, with early birds starting at 4 p.m. and regular bingo starting at 5 p.m. Big game payouts each game with 3 to 4 chances to win different jackpot games each day. Great for individuals or groups because everyone enjoys winning lots of money. You must be 18 years or older to play.
Now
you hear me? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive source in this quarter. Brady, hello, has the first up. Smith tracks it down. Shot at the buzzer. Sideline. He cuts it back. Can he get to the goal line? Stankham looks for his man and fell from the seat of his pants. Makes the grab. Johnson gets by that first wave. Bounces it outside. Shot sent into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawrence Central.
Welcome you back into Case Arena as they conclude the national anthem here. Both teams set to be announced. A matchup tonight between the Tipton Blue Devils and the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Laura Archibald, Sean Walker here this evening for the ISC Sports Network in cooperation with Hot Dog TV. And, hey, get a few kinks worked out in the beginning there. Now we're ready to rock and roll for tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at our starting lineups first for the Tipton Blue Devils. And it will be Cora Rodaball, Marissa Shirey, Ella Sloan, Kiera Cooper, Lacey Bittner, and Kalia Smith. The libero for Tipton is Sophia Lopez for head coach Missy Henry. Our starting lineups tonight brought to us by our friends at Ardente Dental, where healthy smiles start here. And Laura, when you look down through that roster, there's some names in there, especially when you get to senior Kalia Smith. She is really killing it this year. 172 kills. That is good for fourth in conference play.
Yeah, she's really the real deal. She's the all-around player for the Blue Devils. She plays all the way around. She is the leader in kills, digs, and serve reception for the Blue Devils. She is the player to watch, certainly on the Tipton side of the court.
So we will keep an eye on the senior number 32 for Tipton. On the other side for the home team, the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Their starting lineup tonight will be Morgan Harrington, Justine Thomas, Brooklyn Perry, Jalen Smith, Ashley Zing, Ella McAtee, and your libero, number 15, Carolyn Queen, for head coach Kia Rushton and the Frankfort Hot Dogs. And our player to watch tonight, brought to us by FiberHawk, fast, affordable FiberHawk internet. It's going to be Brooklyn Perry. When I was here last week with Coach Jean Kesterson against Western Boone, she didn't get a lot of opportunities, but when they got into system and they set Brooklyn Perry, she is making some serious strides here in her sophomore season.
Yeah, her and Jalen Smith are the two that really come back with the most of the experience here on this varsity team. And it's really the tale of two seasons for Coach Rushton. Last year was really a rebuilding season for her, and they were very one-dimensional last year. This year, she has much more diversity. She has a lot more depth team-wide, front and back row, a lot more hitters to go to. So I think we're going to see, for the next 2 years, this team get better and better for Coach Rushton.
Our officials tonight brought to us by Aaron's Flooring, offering luxury vinyl plank, carpet installation, and more. Visit aaronsflooringllc.com for more information or call 601-4145 for a free quote. It is Sam Wheeler and Roger Nelson. And we want to thank all of our sponsors for their love on these broadcasts, able to bring these games to your living room for those of you that are unable to attend or those that are just watching it back later. As both teams meet in their respective circles and get ready for what could be a very entertaining matchup here tonight on the ISC Sports Network. For Frankfort fans, we've got them here tonight versus Tipton, but Thursday night we've got a Clinton County rival matchup for you. Laura and I will be back on the call for that one as Frankfort travels to Clinton Prairie to take on the Gophers.
I think that'll be an exciting match. I think they both have some big games tonight. Clinton Prairie's playing Central Catholic, and I think this will be a good game tonight, Frankfort versus Tipton. So it'll be interesting to see what they have left in the tank on Thursday.
I know Coach Kia Rushton is happy that the last week and a half or so is through schedule-wise. They played some tough teams in there with Tri-West, Lebanon, Western Boone, and Benton Central, who is still undefeated this year. And that is a conference opponent of Tipton's.
Yeah, they have had about the last 10 days has been really a rough schedule for the Hot Dogs.
Nice play there. It was number 23, Lacey Bentner, who set 15, Kiera Cooper. It's the point for Tipton. Now Cooper back to serve here for the Blue Devils. Hits the top of the tape and falls over, so a quick 2-0 lead. And we're talking about Frankfort and our coverage, obviously from Frankfort High School, but just overall this season. We also have them at Clinton Central next week as part of the mental health awareness games that are sponsored by Healthy Communities of Clinton County each year.
We're looking forward to that. I believe that's next Tuesday, and then the Rossville-Clinton Prairie game on Thursday. So if you like Clinton County Volleyball, next week is your week to watch on ISC Sports Network.
Yeah, great time to get familiar with your Frankfort Hot Dogs. So we've got them 3 times here really quickly. As Perry keeps it alive, Smith just sets it across, and it works out for Frankfort. They get on the board now 3-1. Here come a couple of those substitutions, and this is part of that depth you talked about, Laura, where you'll see Coach Rushton kind of subbing in quite a few different players here.
You will, and last year this was the exact opposite. She really had about 7 players that played and rarely subbed, and this year she has so much more depth, and there are lots of freshmen and sophomores that are getting a significant playing time for her. And when you look through that roster, she only has 1 senior this year. So I really look forward to big things from this Hot Dog team next year.
You talk about the team from last year. Last year, Ashley Zing was the libero. This year, they went with a freshman in Carolyn Queen, and she has paid dividends at such a young age already. Great play there from Tipton as Kalia Smith is able to get another kill.
She has, and Ashley is still getting lots of playing time. She is a great server, leading the Hot Dogs in serves and still going in that back row a lot for the Hot Dogs, doing a great job for them on the back row still. I remember last year we talked about despite the record that last year was probably one of the best jobs that Kia Rushton has ever done at coaching and making something out of very little with her team, and the most improvement that we've probably seen out of a Frankfort team ever in one season. And so I think Kia's continued to build on that from last year, and I am excited about where hot dog volleyball is headed.
Queen with the serve into the net. A service error gives a point back to Tipton. Number 5, Ella McAtee subbed in a moment ago for Frankfort. Number 3, Cora Rodaball comes back in rotation here for Tipton. Back to serve for Tipton is number 14, Ella Sloan. One of the juniors on this Blue Devil squad. Tipton will get the point. 4 seniors for Tipton this season. Marissa Shirey, Taylor Conaway, Kiera Cooper, and Kalia Smith. On the other side, just 1 lone senior for Frankfort, and that's Ashley's older sister, Tiffany Zing. Smith with another quick set, and man, the way that she's really come along, just a sophomore, but her volleyball IQ has just went leaps and bounds from early last year to here now, midway through her sophomore season.
Her confidence is just in a different level. Last year, you could just tell she wasn't really comfortable. She was doubting herself. She got more confident as the year went on, but this year she is just a different person. She is way more confident and not afraid to attack the ball. She has a very high hitting percentage, and you don't usually see that out of a setter, but she's very aggressive and not afraid to be an active part of that offense.
Kalia Smith back to serve now for Tipton. It was Justine Thomas that subbed in a moment ago for Frankfort. Queen makes a last-second decision to keep it alive, and it was a good one.
It was, because that ball was in.
And they'll set it up here. Rockhold tips it across, and she gets the point. Lily Rockhold, just a freshman, listed at 5'9", and she may be another one of those bright spots for the future for Frankfort. She was our Clinton County player of the game last week in their loss to Western Boone. But I thought Lily did a fantastic job that night.
Yeah, she's actually leading the hot dogs and kills this year. I'm really impressed with her as a freshman. Has great court awareness, not afraid to take that ball. She moves the ball around well. You don't see her just a lot of times when you get a young hitter, they'll just hit strong, 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 or cross, cross, cross. But she really moves the ball around well. So I think, out of a young hitter, that's something that you don't always see. She does a good job of that.
Zing a little long there on the serve, gives a point and the serve back here to Tipton. We talk about the youth on the Frankfort side of the floor. There's some youth for Tipton as well. Their libero, just a freshman, Sophia Lopez, donning that pink jersey, number 0. The service error gives it back to Frankfort, and this is what you and I discussed briefly in the pregame, is we thought this might be a pretty good match tonight, and so far that's what we're getting, because when you look at common opponents and the scores, they're really, it's almost like mirror image of each other.
Yeah, not just like who got 2 sets to none or whatever. Their scores were super similar. Yep. So I really have thought that this would be a really good matchup tonight.
Big swing out of the middle there from Cora Rodaball, gets a point for Tipton. Now 9-7. And as Rodaball gets the kill, she'll also get the serve here. Standing overhand serve. Good pass to Smith. Pass from Smith to Perry, just a little off the mark. Frankfort lives to fight through this point, and there you see when you get a good set to Perry what she's capable of.
And I love to see the setter reward that good pass. So Perry sets it right to her. Good pass, give her that money ball right back.
This is Morgan Harrington on the serve. Morgan, a junior for these Frankfort Hot Dogs. And
back row attack.
Back row attack is the call. Thank you. that was a signal I had not seen, and I wasn't sure what to say there. Glad you're always there to pick me up. Thanks a lot, Laura.
I got you.
Harrington still serving here for the Hot Dogs. All knotted up at 9. She wears jersey number 9. Good communication out there on the floor tonight, too. We've got a nice bird's eye view of what we affectionately call the crow's nest here at Frankfort, but you can hear it. The noise just comes up here great. Both teams really calling out, I got it, I got it, I got it.
Really, this has been solid volleyball since the beginning.
Lofted over serve, and Tipton struggles with it. And Frankfort now with a 2-point lead. Harrington's rattled off a few in a row here. They go after the freshman libero this time. And it bodes well once again for Frankfort. Now in a 3-point lead. This timeout allows us to thank our sponsors tonight. Well, this portion of our broadcast is brought to you by the Frankfort Eagles, number 976, serving the community since 1905 with over 900 members locally. Frankfort Eagles offer something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, visit FOE.com or stop by the Frankfort Eagles at 408 North Main Street. And while we got time, let's also thank Healthy Communities of Clinton County, where the coalition is committed to reducing the risk factors contributing to chronic disease, including health disparities, by decreasing stigma and encouraging policy, system, and environmental changes. The vision of Healthy Communities is to make the healthy choice the easy choice. For more information, visit healthyclintoncounty.org. So a timeout taken there by Tipton as they found themselves trailing by 3. Let's see if this pays off for Coach Henry and her young Lady Blue Devils.
Yeah, I think that was a good timeout. I think this is the longest run either team has had. I think that was a good call.
Rockhold going to get this one across. A double hit happens there, and another point for Frankfort. I watched a highlight reel earlier of Nebraska and Kentucky, and it was one of the longest points I have ever seen in a volleyball match and one of the best efforts I've ever seen. I had to watch it 3 times.
I'll have to look that up. I recently watched the Stanford-Nebraska match, and it was fantastic. Nebraska's fun to watch. Stanford is as well, but Nebraska's very fun to watch.
That's something that Coach Kesterson and I talked about when she was here with me last week, is Nebraska's fan base is just – they love it. They love volleyball.
Yeah, did you see the outdoor game that they had where they set
92,000 people.
The world record?
Frankfort on a roll here, 15-9. So not only did they rattle off some points to tie it up, they've now opened up a 6-point lead.
And that's really led by Harrington serving. Not a lot of aces there, but she just has them scrambling.
Good placement there, but a little long. Gives the point back to Tipton, now a 5-point lead. And that'll send the senior, Kiara Cooper, back for Tipton. Laura, when doing research for these games, I always enjoy when I come across kind of little tidbits, whether it's about the school, about maybe an athletic director or a former player, things of that nature. And today, when looking into athletic director at Tipton, Corey Fernung, I realized that he was a pretty darn good basketball player back in the day for Tri-Central. Went on to play at Purdue. He is actually listed in the 50-point club as he put up 50 points exactly. Can you tell me a Clinton County athletic director that might also be in that 50-point category?
Peckinpah?
It is Chad Peckinpah. 58 points back in 94-95.
It was a guess.
Peckinpah's 58 points were better than Steve Alford's 57, which Steve Alford scored over 50 about 10 different times.
Yeah, I was going to say he did it a lot.
It was higher than Larry Bird. So a little bit of bragging rights there for him, but congrats to athletic director Corey Fernung and his 50-point extravaganza back in the day. Back to volleyball action now, 17-11.
Thank you for the obscure trivia.
You know, I work really hard at it.
Nice block.
Set, they go right back, and it's back corner, and it is in. Kalia Smith starting to fire some things up here.
It was a really nice block by Brooklyn Perry. I think one of the things that I would worry about a little bit if I'm Frankfort is almost always up with a single block out of the middle. That's working against this team, but you get against a team with a really solid middle hitter, that might come back to hurt you. It's probably going to be okay with Brooklyn, but I don't know about on their other rotation with the other middle hitter. You like to see a double block in the middle.
Warming up now. Kalia Smith starting to let things fly. Her and Lacey Bentner making some noise.
And Tipton just chipping away at that lead a little bit.
Zing with the pass to Smith. They go to Perry. Great job by Ella Sloan to get some hands on it and create some havoc for Frankfort. They had to react quickly and were unable to keep that one in play. Now 17-14. That 6-point lead cut in half. Rockhold sent it across pretty quick. Sloan tries to do the same for Tipton. Sloan with the tip, and it finds home. The junior calling her name quite a few times, and now Coach Kia Rushton will take a timeout as this thing gets closer. Again, during timeouts, we'd love to thank our sponsors in this portion of our broadcast, brought to us by Day and Ginda Funeral Home, where they believe in putting family first. As active members of the community, they know that when dealing with a loss, seeing a familiar face and being treated like family is important. Day and Ginda Funeral Home will serve your family in a unique and loving way and will be the type of family you need. For more information about the services Day and Ginda Funeral Homes offer, please visit dayandginda.com. What have you seen the last few points here that have allowed Tipton to crawl back into this one or fight back into this one?
Really, their blocking has been really good the last few points, and their defense, and blocking is that first line of defense. And they're really playing just solid defense, taking the ball back to Frankfort every single time. They're just chipping away at it 1 point at a time, and sometimes that's what you have to do. And I think that was a good timeout to get Frankfort regrouped and get a good pass here. If I was them, I think you have two really good options here in the front row, but I would probably go to Brooklyn Perry.
Smith goes on the set. She'll go to Rockhold. Rockhold a little too strong there, and we've got a 1 point game. Marissa Shirey doing a really nice job back at the service line for Tipton right now. It's not that Frankfort's not handling it well, per se. So getting good passes to their setter. But to your point, even when they get on the offense, there's two blockers there.
There is. I think I would go to Brooklyn Perry here. I know that Rockhold's their leading hitter, but Perry has a little more experience. Rockhold's had a few errors here. I think you have to go to your tried and true.
They go to Perry here. Great diving effort from Rotaball to keep it alive. They go back to Rockhold, and this time she's able to go cross court.
And here's the difference is she only had one blocker that time because they had went to Perry before, so that middle hitter had to stay home.
This will send the freshman and Carolyn Queen back for Frankfort. I believe it was number 8, Lily McCord, that checked in for Tipton that last substitution. Ashley Zing hits the floor. That pass close to the net, and the blocker's there. Is it in? They're calling a touch.
Touch, but out.
But out. So all tied up at 18. Great placement right there. Ella Sloan. Boy, Ella's been making some noise at the net here in this set. She had some blocks, she had a few kills, and now she's at the service line.
She's had a really strong first set here.
Good pass to set into the middle, and then Rodabaugh hits that one into the net, ties things back up at 19, and here comes a substitution for Frankfort. As Chloe Moody will check in, number 7. Another one of those youthful players for Frankfort, just a freshman. And this one just gets over the net for Jalen Smith.
No, it's been interesting. If you think about it, the Blue Devils are hanging in here, and Kalia Smith has been very quiet in this first set. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if she comes to life here in game 2.
They go to her here. Blocked at the net. Tipped across. And then Frankfort can't come clean it up. So not necessarily getting it done with power that time did Smith, but a heads-up play nonetheless gets a point. Back and forth here in set number 1. That time Smith said it and nobody was home.
I don't know if that was a miscommunication there. She's back row, so they have 3 hitters here, so.
Smith goes across quick. Tipton with fast hands. They go to 15, and it pays off. Kiera Cooper. 22-20, and Frankfort's going to take another timeout here. They enjoyed a 15-9 lead. It has been a 13-5 run here for Tipton. Now available, it's FiberHawk Fiber Internet, super fast speeds, no more buffering, perfect for all sizes of business. FiberHawk offers every speed to meet your internet needs. For more on offerings and availability, go to fiberhawk.com or call 765-922-HAWK. Fast, affordable FiberHawk. Want to thank our awesome Hot Dog TV crew here tonight, working hard behind the scenes, making Laura and I's job easy.
Absolutely.
Part of our partnership with Frankfort High School, we'll be bringing games to you all school year. I was going to say all season long, but this season's almost over. Can you believe that?
No, I
remember
can't.
week 1 of football. I said, I can't believe it's week 1 of football already, and now it's what, week 5? Week 6?
6, I think.
I don't even know.
I think it's week 6.
I know that sectionals are just around the corner for fall sports, and that blows my mind.
It is. I was gone for 2 weeks on vacation. I came back, and I can't believe where we're at.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
22-21. A back-and-forth battle here in set 1. One of these teams trying to put pressure on their opponent and take a 1-0 lead.
And a 1-0 lead in a match like this is huge.
And a bunch of players looking at each other there instead of aggressively going after it.
What
leads
an
to a 2-point lead.
amazing dig by Carolyn Queen. I cannot believe no one went after that.
Lacey Bittner back. That service line for Tipton. Thomas with a big swing, but the block is there. Been impressed with Tipton's defense tonight right at the net.
Absolutely. Their defense really all the way around has been solid, but has started at the net. Even when they don't get a hand on the ball, their blockers are taking out a significant part of the court, which enables their passers to get in position to be able to take the rest of that court, and that's huge.
Smith goes across in two times in a row. Rockhold, or excuse me, that's Chloe Moody there, number 7 at the net.
Yeah, that was a great block.
Now Brooklyn Perry comes back in to add a little more offense here for the Hot Dogs. The libero and Carolyn Queen will come out. Still set point for Tipton, that wide of the court. And now a 1-point game here, 24-23. And Tipton will take a timeout. Coach Henry wants to talk things over. This has been an entertaining set one.
It has. I have a feeling this may be like this all night.
This portion of our broadcast brought to us by Aaron's Flooring, where they offer luxury vinyl plank, carpet installation, and more. Visit aaronsflooringllc.com for more information or call 765-601-4145 for a free quote. I know Aaron's Flooring just came in here at Frankfort High School and did carpet on the brand new set. I wish we had some pictures loaded up. It would be awesome to show all the new set, the new toys that Frankfort has to play with this year. I'm jealous.
Hey, Aaron's Flooring did some work for us at Healthy Communities at the Trinity Hope Center and did an amazing job as well. So it's amazing what new flooring can do, you know.
For sure.
It's amazing.
Out of the timeout, a 1-point game. And now the speaking captain will go over and have a conversation with the official in the chair. Again, our officials tonight, Sam Wheeler and Roger Nelson, part of this IHSAA crew. Into the middle, Zing with the play. They set up Thomas. The block is there, but it's out of bounds. And Frankfort has tied things up at 24.
They have, but, you know, that block, we've talked about it. That is in those hitters' head every single time. They are putting up a big block there. Net violation.
We get a net violation, and Lacey Bender was doing her best to stay out of it. And
she was.
About twisted an ankle. Now set point for Frankfort. Ella McAtee, the junior. The chance to win it here for the Dogs. Rodaball just sends it across. Free opportunity here. They go to Perry.
Oh, I don't know that I think that was over. But you'll
Could
take
have
it
been
if you're
4
the hot
hits,
dogs.
yeah. Officials ruled that it was blocked by Tipton.
And if it was, how many blocks is that by Tipton tonight?
Rodaball in the middle's having a nice first set here as well. All tied up at 25 now. Got to win by 2. Queen does a good job just getting around that to keep it in play and allow Frankfort players to come help her out. Smith now, Queen says, I got it. Now a free opportunity here for Tipton. Thomas there.
If you're the hot dogs, though, you want to be more aggressive. You want to quit sending these free balls over. And that's exactly why.
Great kill, Kiera Cooper. Third on the team coming into this one with 69 kills. I would say she's added 5 or 6 more here in set number 1. And now set point for Tipton. Rodaball on the serve. Justine Thomas sends it over, and it is in. Back corner in. Well, that was really close, but we sit right on the line, Laura, and I thought it caught enough of it
I do too.
to constitute a good call.
I think it caught that outside edge of the line.
26 all.
It was close enough in a 25-26 game that you play it.
The set from Smith goes into the middle there. Finds pay dirt. Set point now for Frankfort. These fans are going to get their money's worth here tonight. I think we are too.
I agree.
It's almost a blessing, Laura. You and I have seen some lopsided matches this season. It's been a lot of 3-0. Not saying that this one couldn't end that way, but we have not had this close of a battle.
We have not. And Tipton got away with one there. 23, the setter, left early and should have been an illegal alignment.
Smith, too close to the net there. Trying to go for Perry. Gives set point and advantage back to Tipton. 28-27. Kiera Cooper leads the team with 15 aces. Frankfort does a good job handling it, but so does Tipton. Run their offense, they go to Thomas. This one wide of the court.
All tied up again.
Here comes those substitutions for Frankfort. Lily Rockhold checks in. Addie Keck comes in.
And then you start getting to the question for Frankfort. If you get tight on your number of subs, who are you leaving in?
Smith into the net here. Point for Tipton. 29-28. What an amazing first set we are seeing here from Frankfort High School. They go to the big swinger. And she is able to make it happen for Tipton as they take set number one, 30-28, off the hands and the kill there of Kalia Smith. We'll take a break. When we come back. Set number two heads your way from Frankfort High School.
Frankfort Eagles 976, serving with the community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, Frankfort Eagles offers something for everyone. Golf leagues, bingo, concerts, kid parties, cookouts, and more. For more information on who we are and what we do, visit FOE.com or stop by Frankfort Eagles at 408 North Main Street, Frankfort, Indiana.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
We welcome you back here, the start of set number two. What an amazing first set we had as Tipton takes it 30-28. Got to win by two. You play to 25, and, man, we could have had 50-48. That one looked like it was going to trend for a while.
We kind of called it. We did say these teams were evenly matched, and they certainly played that way today. And it'll be interesting to see how that momentum goes into game two.
I love the whole aspect of iron sharpens iron, and, you know, Coach Rushton is happy that they're through that tough spot in their schedule. But at the same time, I am telling you, this Hot Dogs team looks different. I know they lost there in that first set, but I've seen some really good things out of them this year to say this is a team to look out for. If not this season, they're coming, and you better be ready to play the Frankfort Hot Dogs.
Absolutely, and you have to remember they are young. One senior on this roster. I am excited for Coach Rushton.
During that timeout as well, while we were at the break, they honored sophomore Jalen Smith with her 1,000th assist already as a sophomore, so it's pretty cool.
Halfway through
her
her sophomore season.
Yeah.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Interesting thought here for the Blue Devils is that their leading hitter, Kalia Smith, really was kind of a non-factor in set one. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it was a great team effort because
for sure.
Everybody else kind of rallied around her. Now, she came through at the end when they needed her. But it'll be interesting to see if she gets on her normal game and comes alive, what happens in set two here. I would have to say the changing factor, the difference between the win and the loss in set one was the blocking from the Blue Devils. Their blocking was fantastic.
Sometimes, too, Lori, you see over the course of a season where, you know, somebody leading with 172 kills and second place has 88 coming in, but you're getting to that, you know, mid to three-quarters of the way through your season, and now it's starting to be more of a team and not just, you know, focusing so much on Smith, because I'll tell you, Rhoda Ball was awesome, in that one. Kiara Cooper played amazing. Ella Sloan, we talked about her. The blocks at the net, the kills, the serving. I was really impressed with the Blue Devils there in set one.
It was just this really even team effort. And that's what I was talking about. Like, I expected Kalia Smith to stand out, and she didn't, but they didn't need her to.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
And that's not
played.
a bad thing.
No, no. As a coach, that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. Their defense, led by that blocking, was just fantastic.
That one lands just out. Perry tried to just pop it across the net there. 2-0. Tipton jumped out to a 3-0 lead in set number one. You know, another thing that Coach Henry has to be excited about, and this comes with having 4 seniors on the team as well. They were down 15-9. They were down by 6. A lot of teams, because this game is so mental and it's such a momentum game, they crack under that pressure, and you see that first set just get away from a team usually. They fought back. Not only did they fight back, they won it. And now you got to wonder, because you have a very young Frankfort team, how they'll respond knowing, man, we had them down by 6, and they came back and still beat us.
Absolutely. And it wasn't like they went on this long run. They just did it a couple points at a time. You know, they were scoring 2 or 3 to Frankfort's 1. And that's the way you get yourself out of hole.
Christine Thomas on the serve, and that one long. And, well, I tell you, Kiara Cooper did a nice little pirouette there to get out of the way.
Just about got hit, didn't she?
3-2. It's Marissa Shirey on the serve for Tipton. And that, I'll tell you, if anything looks off tonight, it's the pass from Smith to Perry.
Yeah.
They're struggling to be on the same page of what they're trying to do.
Their timing is just not as good. Out of the middle, it's not bad. I wonder why they don't bring Perry around and run something in front of Smith out of this rotation.
Rockhold keeps it alive and somehow puts it in play. What an angle. Oh, just out there. As Tipton scores another point. They'll have a 3-point lead here early in set 2.
Yeah, out of this rotation, because Smith is front row, I would bring Perry around to hit out of the middle, because they definitely have not been connecting with Perry hitting out of that right side.
So there it is in the middle right there.
I'd do that out of serve
wide.
reception, though.
Yeah.
I don't think she's had any kills off of that right side, but she definitely is hitting and being more effective out of that middle.
Well, in fairness, I haven't seen a lot of kills this way anyway. It's been out of the middle or that pass where they've looked for Rockhold.
Yep.
On what I call the far end of the court. I'm sure that it has an outside hitter.
Outside hitter, yeah. And 32, I mean, Smith, we've talked about, is a great blocker. And so really she's the better blocker out there. So to go away from her makes more sense to me anyway. I think that's one of those things when Rushton watches this tape back, she'll think, yeah, we probably should have ran that around to the middle.
5-4 as Frankfort continues to fight. Trail by 3 now, just by 1. And there's Kalia Smith. Didn't have to put a ton on that one, just find the open space on the floor. And I'll send Ella Sloan to the service line. Smith, quick set. And then was it touched? Because it's out. Let's see. And Coach Henry's asking for it. But they're going to rule a point for Frankfort here.
I did not see a touch there.
Smith on the serve. And she'll get the ace. I had some wicked spin on it.
Yes, it did. That was a great serve.
All tied up at 6. Case Arena is still one of the best venues in the state, in my opinion. I know I'm a little partial, being a graduate and alumni of Frankfort back in the 90s, but the renovations they've done here to Case Arena, the new floor, it's just awesome.
It is. It looks great. Kalia Smith has definitely come alive in this set, too. She definitely led this first 7 points for the Blue Devils.
We'll see how she can help them from the service line. And Rockhold runs her off the service line pretty quickly as a point for Frankfort. Tied up at 7, and Zing checks back in.
I think one of the things I really love that Coach Rushton is doing is some of these freshmen are just playing the front row or just playing the back row. It really takes a lot of pressure off of them. They're just having to concentrate on doing one thing or learning one thing. And that really is, I think, wise decision on her part. Once they're sophomores and juniors, she can work at developing them into more of an all-around player, but letting them this freshman year just concentrate on one thing. And I think that's a really, really smart move on her part.
Frankfort into the net that time. Gives the point back to Tipton, and I agree. That's how you simplify the game, right? They always, a lot of coaches will write KISS on their boards, and it's keep it simple, stupid, or sometimes they find another reason for the last S, but it's what you want to do. You want to keep it simple, allow those players to kind of come along, because there is something that's said about your confidence level, right? When you kind of feel like you've mastered or you've gotten comfortable with something.
Then give them a new challenge.
Yeah.
But let them get comfortable in what they're doing and get that confidence level up. And I really love the approach she's taking with getting all of these players in little bits of the game. And I think it's a really, really good approach. And it takes pressure off of them that, if they, let's say they have a bad, run across the front row, then they're out 3 rotations. They come in refreshed and ready, or they have a bad run across the back. Then they get a three rotation break. So I really love the approach she's taking with these young players. I think it's working out very, very well for her.
Tipton opened up with a little bit of a lead here. So we approach that midway mark of set number 2. Not a ton of Frankfort fans here tonight, but they're making some noise. You can always hear Forrest. He's one of the Frankfort faithful that shows up game in and game out.
There was a soccer game going on when I came in, so I wonder if we don't have the student body divided up there a little bit.
Smith goes to Perry.
And I'm betting we'll have a big crowd on Thursday night.
For sure. If nothing else, just to have rivaling student sections to harass each other.
Exactly.
Great point here. Both teams really getting after it. Man, I love Carolyn Queen's effort. It's a good thing that they wear long sleeves, because Queen would have some serious floor burns otherwise.
She would.
Many times as she hits the deck. Tonight's game brought to us by Mulberry Telecommunications, where they would like to be the first to welcome you to the fiberhood. Mintel Fiber Optic Services offers super fast, reliable internet with gigabit speed, streaming TV packages, and voice solutions. Sign up today at mintel.net. That's MINTEL.net, or call 296-2885 for more information. Mulberry Telecommunications serving Clinton and Tippecanoe County, more of the rural area. And starting installs in Flora, Bringhurst and Cutler, the week of October 2nd.
That is coming up quick.
Already getting the schedule nice and full. We'll be up this weekend as Flora has their yearly festival. So Mulberry Telecommunications will be up there giving away all kinds of little gizmos and gadgets. Swag, as we like to call it in the industry.
People love the swag. Once again, a good job by Tipton getting a hand on that with the block.
Perry, sensing that the defense was up close, tried to play towards the back row there. A little too strong, and Tipton now with a 5-point lead here in set number 2. Great quick set there from Smith, and an even better effort from Queen to just get something on it, right?
Yeah,
That's legal there to get it across.
Her defense has been fantastic. If I am the coach for the Blue Devils, I'm probably a little upset that many tips from Smith are hitting the middle of the court. She's turning her shoulders, she's jump setting, and she is advertising it. I really don't think that many of those should be hitting the floor.
So usually you might see 1 or 2 of those over the course of an entire game.
Yeah, she's probably had 6.
Yeah.
And here we go again. There they go. They got a block on it that time.
Perry with a block at the net for Frankfort. Great communication again all across the floor. You can really hear both teams.
Tipton did pick it up this time. I believe Jalen Smith is maybe the second in kills per set for the Hot Dogs. And I can see, I mean, I was a little shocked at that coming in, but I can see why. She's being very aggressive on taking that second ball over the net. I don't know that it's been as effective. It's going to be that effective against other teams as it has been against Tipton tonight. That's got to be a lift.
There's a lift there.
Yeah.
Substitutions for Frankfort. Rockhold comes back in. Addie Keck comes back in. They find themselves down 4. It's very similar on the flip side from set 1 where Frankfort had that lead at this point in set 1, and now Tipton has it here in set 2. Can the Hot Dogs come back and make this interesting? (14-11). I like how both coaches have used their timeouts as needed, but they've also let their teams kind of play through some things here tonight as well.
Absolutely.
That serve too strong. Back to a 4-point lead for Tipton. And this is where they did some damage last time. Marissa Shirey was at the service line, and it wasn't necessarily her serving that was causing Frankfort trouble, but it was this part in the rotation where
it was this blocking.
Yeah,
that's
Tipton's
what I was
right there at the front of the net.
It was this blocking scheme that has really, really caused Frankfort headaches.
They fight through this one here, and they get the point. 15-12. Perry comes out. McAtee comes in. On the other side, Lily McCord, the sophomore, checks in for Tipton.
I think it's Sloan, Bittner, and Smith across the front. This is a pretty good blocking trio. Nice hit.
What a set.
Inbounds.
A point for Tipton. I think Kalia thought that they weren't going to give her the point there for a minute.
Like, that was so in.
I don't know how she kept herself out of the net, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Great swing.
This is also a great blocking trio. Rodaball had a ton of blocks in set 1. Out.
Big swing from the middle that time, a little long. Now a 3-point game. Chloe Moody comes back in for Frankfort. You mentioned in the pregame show and even there in that first set about Frankfort's depth, and we're seeing it. I mean, there are a lot of players playing in this rotation.
There are. I mean, she really has about 11 players playing. Really, Smith is the only player staying in all the way around.
Smith on the serve. McAtee sends it over, and a set to Rodaball. Frankfort responds, but can't keep it out of the net. Now a 5-point lead, and here comes a timeout from Coach Rushton. That's been kind of that mark tonight. We get to 4 or 5, and we get a timeout, and I want to talk things over. Ardente Dental. They offer high-tech dentistry with a personal touch. Whether you're a brand-new patient or have been with them for years, they're here to serve you. Give them a call at 765-654-7222 or visit them online at ardentedental.com. Ardente Dental, we bring smiles to life. 18-13, entertaining Tuesday night. It felt weird because we had Monday night volleyball, so it's completely thrown me off. I keep thinking today is like Thursday for some reason, which is bad.
Good. It's never good when Tuesday feels like Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to make for a long week. And we've got games for you all week long on the ISC Sports Network. We're excited to bring them to you. As stated, we're here this evening. We'll have Frankfort and Clinton Prairie on Thursday night. And then you can find a bevy of games. We even have Frankfurt's soccer team at Danville on Thursday. You can find that as well. And then on Friday, probably 4 or 5 games going at once on ISC. Those are always such a big night on our network.
I think the difference here in set 2 is Kalia Smith. She came alive in set 2. You know, I talked about in set 1, she was just kind of quiet, and everybody else played great. Set 2, everybody else is still playing great, but she has just stepped up her game, and that is the difference. That's the difference between a 2-point game and a 6-point lead here.
Another thing I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I am definitely not the volleyball savant, but it feels like Frankfort they're hitting a lot of balls into the net now. And I feel like it's coming because the blocks have been so good from Tipton.
That's exactly what it is. Even if they block it out of bounds or they block it and you get it back up, that's still, as a hitter, that is in your head. You are looking through, as a hitter, you're looking through that net and you're seeing that block, and it is affecting how you're swinging. And Tipton has just put a fantastic block up all night long.
Yeah, their defense has been impressive.
It has, and it starts with the block. Like I told you, even when they're not getting a hand on the ball, they're taking a good chunk of the court out with that block.
Great serve, Ashley Singh. Caught a little bit of the top of the net, but it was still perfectly placed right there in the middle of the floor.
And Frankfort just chipping away at that lead just a point at a time. Nice pass.
Nice swing. Cora rode a ball. 4-point lead for Tipton, and it just feels like this is where they're keeping Frankfort at. They're using the jab, to use a boxing reference, and just kind of setting that distance. Frankfort having trouble closing the gap. And that quick set from Smith nearly got through again. Thomas.
That was a good job taking it over on that second hit.
And there's that block, yeah.
A touch on that block. Nice job. Another
there
touch
they are
on the
again,
block.
right. And this time in rotation, it's Rodabah and Shirey on that side. But credit Frankfort for just playing through it, keeping the ball in play, and at that point in time, it was let's keep it in play, and Tipton finally made a mistake.
Absolutely. That shows you the difference of defense. People will eventually make an error if you keep taking the ball to them.
Good serve there, Ella McAtee.
Nice effort by Lacey Bittner there.
2018 is Frankfort. Tries to pull back into this one. Trailed by as many as 5. Ooh, big swing. Cora Rodabah.
That was a hammer. That was a beautiful set and hit. She totally went around the block of Frankfort. I mean, they didn't stand a chance on that.
The vision and the trajectory. A work of art that time. 3-point lead for Tipton as they try to take set 2 here and have a commanding 2-0 lead at Frankfort High School, and that serve tough. As Zing unable to handle it. Forrest trying to lend a hand over there. Get the ball back in play. Rota ball, too strong this time. Libero and Sophia Lopez comes back in for Tipton. And it'll be Morgan Harrington for Frankfort. She'll check in. She'll have serving duties here.
Out.
I know in other sports like basketball, when you first come in off the bench, it takes a minute. You don't usually check right in and chuck up a shot. In volleyball, though, we see a lot of times that transition from bench to coming in and serving. How difficult is that?
It can be difficult. I think less so for the libero than other players because they usually just came out and they go right back in. They haven't sat out for an extended period of time.
Right.
But those people who have sat out for a few rotations, that's hard. And that's a really good tactic. If you don't have somebody that you definitely want to serve to, always serve a sub. That's kind of a rule, serve a sub. And that's just for that exact reason, like you said, that mental game. Oh, I think
Four hits there.
Kalia Smith slipped on the floor there, I think.
24-20. Ashley Zing comes in for Justine Thomas. Or excuse me, that's Tiffany Zing coming in.
Yeah, Frankfort may have just escaped one there because that was a beautiful set, but unfortunately, Kalia Smith was on the floor. Nice dig.
Queen. Smith keeps it alive. Zing sends it back across. Frankfort keeps their hopes alive here in set two. And then Smith, on a rare mistake there, benefits the Hot Dogs.
She was definitely trying to get Rockhold not paying attention coming off that net, and it was wide open. She just didn't get it high enough.
Tiffany Zing on the serve. She is the lone senior for these Frankfort Hot Dogs. Perry at the net. That might have been into the net regardless. It's a point for Frankfort. And now a timeout taken by Coach Henry.
And another close set here.
24-22. Yeah, and again, Coach Rushton has probably forgotten more about volleyball than I've ever learned, to be honest with you. But that's rolling the dice. Going back to that substitution thing for me, and like in my mind, is Harrington was sitting for such a long time. She subs in, she serves. It ends up in a service error. She comes back with the very next time they get the serve back with Tiffany Zing, who has not played tonight. She comes in a 24-20 match and serves, and she was able to play and keep it in. And, I mean, that is knowing your team and having some trust in your players.
Absolutely, and knowing those people that you can count on. You know, she knows those players in and out. And that's
I just
your
don't
senior.
think Coach
That's
ever
your
wanted me to shoot back in the day. It didn't matter if I had just checked in or what.
There's your senior leadership, though. That's her confidence in that senior, you know.
For sure. Fresh out of the timeout here, it is still set point for Tipton. Although Frankfort trying to put some pressure on him and make a comeback here. Rockhold, big swing, and it's in.
We got a 1-point game here.
24-23. Frankfort needs another point here. Really needs to try to find a way to steal set number two. So hard to come back from a 0-2 deficit. I've seen it, but it's difficult.
It is very difficult in volleyball. It's such a momentum game.
And there is Kalia Smith, who drives one home, 25-23 in another close set. But Tipton takes this one as well. They now lead 2-0. When we come back, a very crucial set 3 from Frankfort High School.
I brought you a present.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team as they fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful, healthy smiles.
Inconceivable! Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die. Inconceivable!
To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99.
Inconceivable!
You keep using that word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Frankfort Eagles 976, serving with the community since 1905. With over 900 members locally, Frankfort Eagles offers something for everyone. Golf leagues, bingo, concerts, kid parties, cookouts, and more. For more information on who we are and what we do, visit FOE.com or stop by Frankfort Eagles at 408 North Main Street, Frankfort, Indiana.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
A crucial set number 3 set to get start here from Frankfort High School in Case Arena. Tipton leads this one 30-28, 25-23. They have a 2-0 lead. This portion of our broadcast brought to us by FiberHawk. FiberHawk fiber internet, super fast speeds, no more buffering, perfect for all sizes of business. FiberHawk offers every speed to meet your internet needs. For more on offerings and availability, go to fiberhawk.com or call 765-922-HAWK. Fast, affordable, FiberHawk. It's been a very entertaining match so far here tonight. Both of these teams evenly matched. Do you think it's a little bit more of the upperclassmen? I mean, the Tipton's got a little bit more experience on their side of the floor. Do you think that's what's maybe been a difference here in 2 very close games tonight?
I don't know that it's the upperclassmen. I think Tipton's blocking and defense has just been a little bit better than the Hot Dogs. I think that we have Queen playing excellent defense for Frankfort. The rest of the defense is just okay. I think the other thing is still a lot of miscommunication between Smith and the hitters. And they're just not clicking, not connecting like I think that they can. I mean, just every once in a while they'll connect. But I think, I don't know if that's fatigue from the schedule that they've played in the last 10 days, what exactly that is. But I think they're capable of playing better, and they're capable of beating this Tipton team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in Game 3.
Frankfort will start with the serve. It'll be Morgan Harrington back for the Dogs. Set 3 gets underway. Tipton goes right back to Smith, and Harrington hit the floor, but we've got a net violation or 2 hit.
Double hit.
Double hit. One nothing Tipton.
Beautiful pass. See, that was just a little miscommunication again.
Nice job by Lacey Bentner to get a left hand on it and just kind of send it across there for Tipton. Two nothing. Marissa Shirey miss hit there, and she's having fun with it. A little giggle.
Yeah, there's not much else you can do about that.
Lily McCord will check in for her. And on the other side, it's Rockhold and Keck that check in for Frankfort. Smith with the big wind-up, and as Frankfort braced trying to prepare, she was able to examine the floor. Nobody.
That was a hit.
Corner.
Absolutely. The blockers did a good job of taking cross-court. What happened is then their defense didn't adjust and go down the line, and she just saw that opening and cranked that ball right there.
Perry able to battle through the blocks and get a point for Frankfort.
That was good to see. That's the first kill I think we've seen from the right side for the Hot Dogs tonight.
Caroline Queen now serving for the Hot Dogs. We talked about the freshman. She just has such a great all-around game for Frankfort, especially defensively. I mean, she has just been amazing. We've seen some nice digs from her tonight on balls that should have been put away.
Absolutely.
On the serve here, 3-3. The overplay in Frankfort front row was not ready to make Tipton pay for that one. That time they try, and Rodeball gets the best of McAtee. That was one of those 50-50 balls. It was up right above the net, and Rodeball just had a little extra.
Yeah, and let's be honest, McAtee is not a big middle. I mean, I think this says she's 5'5". She didn't stand a chance against Rodeball up there as far as if it's one-on-one blocking. So
Lopez took that one off the hands. Funny, she tries to shake it out. Smith on the serve, all tied up at 4. Rockhold gets a hand on it. Diving effort from Smith in the back row, but point Frankfort. They've got a 1-point lead now. And Forrest has taken his talents and yelling now to the second row. He wants to make sure that voice projects and these fans and the Frankfort Lady Hot Dogs hear him.
he's being very serious now.
Back row play there. It's been a minute since we called Kiera Cooper's name.
That was a great little roll shot to the back row. It didn't have to be hard, just had to be in a hole.
Lacey Bittner, the junior setter, had 315 assists coming into tonight.
Nice effort.
Lays out for that one. Hopefully she's okay. A little slow to get up here. She's able to bounce back. Good show of team camaraderie there as they go check on her, help her up. Ashley Zing on the serve. A free ball opportunity? No, not a free ball opportunity. Is a flat-footed kill from Marissa Shirey. This one served out. This is our one look at Tipton as far as how our schedule is laid out right now during the volleyball season, but I've been very impressed with them.
Yeah, I'm really a little surprised that their record isn't better. I mean, just watching them tonight, I would have thought they would have beat some of the teams that they've lost to.
Some of those tough teams, and they're in a pretty tough conference as well. But to your point, 10-7 on the season. You know, out of conference, they did go up against Eastern, who is in
Eastern's great
in a conference against in Clinton Prairie's conference.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the top of the Hoosier right now, it's Hamilton Heights, Benton Central, Central Catholic, and West Lafayette. And you've got, you know, Tipton and others that are
that conference
kind of hanging around the bottom. But
that
it's
conference
difficult.
Tough. Yeah, but like LaPel, I'm surprised they lost to LaPel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some teams in there that watching how they're playing tonight, I would have expected them to win.
Now we get a rotation error here. There's been a couple of calls here back and forth as we were talking about their schedule. There was a play that the home fans didn't agree with. They gave a point to Tipton. And now on that serve right there. Whistled for moving early. And there's another one where just ball not necessarily as high or jump is mistimed or but it's played into the net.
I think that's just one of those miscommunications. And there again, it's like Brooklyn is going in for a 4-ball and she's setting a 5-ball. I mean, Brooklyn's up and her feet are off the ground and the ball is going way over her head. It's like they've called a shoot set and they're setting a high outside set. It's very interesting. I'm not exactly sure what's going on out with the two of them tonight.
And you saw, she went to her on back-to-back plays, but one of the sets was shorter than Brooklyn was expecting, and the next one was higher
than she expected, yeah.
So it was almost like she overcompensated trying to get it a little higher up for her.
And it's not always easy to tell if it's the set or if it's the hitter's timing or if it's a miscommunication. Those things aren't always easy to tell, but they certainly are not clicking tonight like they normally do.
There's a good crisp play. That one's just a missed hit there from Perry.
Yep, but at least they were on the same page.
Yep. How do you correct those things? Just through practice?
Yeah.
Get those two out on the floor and just set over and over?
Repetition.
This portion of tonight's broadcast brought to us by Healthy Communities of Clinton County, where recovery is possible. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, reach out to Healthy Communities at 765-659-6063, or you can visit them online at healthyclintoncounty.org. Let them help you get on the path to recovery today.
I think the other thing you could do is you could bring Brooklyn Perry in to hit out of the middle out of this rotation. And, she's hit out of the outside. Her comfort zone's middle hitter, right? That's her comfort zone. So bring her in, run a 31, which is like a little shoot set between the middle and the outside, something that the middle hitters are a little more comfortable hitting. Bring her into that middle, run a 2-ball where she starts in the outside and runs like a cross pattern. Do something that's more in Brooklyn's comfort zone and just get her back into the swing of things. Get her a big kill. Get her back into her comfort zone. That outside hitting is not her comfort zone. Middle hitting is her comfort zone.
How difficult is it as a setter, too, to set different players? We've seen her, Jalen, speaking of Jalen, when I say her, set to that outside position tonight to rock hold several times and it be where it needs to be. Is it different for each player where they like the ball to be?
It is a little bit different, but she's getting good enough passes tonight that she can set just about anywhere she wants and needs to set. Passing on both sides has been really pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
So it's just her and Brooklyn really just have not connected tonight. And they normally do. That is not normally a problem with them. So it'll be interesting. That last rotation, she almost has to go to Brooklyn because she's on the front row and then the other hitter that's on the front row isn't a strong hitter. But if Brooklyn is not connecting on that outside, do something different. Change it up. Put Brooklyn in her comfort zone.
Would you like to see there's definitely no animosity grown between the two because right there, Jalen was in a great place for a block, and Brooklyn was the first person there to congratulate her. So just one of those nights. So they'll work it out. But Frankfort, even though that's been going on, and we're seeing that from up here, they've been in every single set tonight.
It's still 11-13. It's a 2-point ball game. You hate to say, but what if Brooklyn and Jalen were connecting tonight, what would the score be? And look at her. She goes to her again. I love it. Showing her confidence in her hitter.
Harrington there hits that one into the net. 3-point lead now for Tipton.
See, I think that was a smart hit or a smart set by Jalen. She could have easily went to Rockhold on that one. She had a good pass. Rockhold just came in as a strong hitter. She could have easily went to Rockhold, but she was giving that vote of confidence back to Brooklyn. Like, I'm going to you. I have your back. I'm confident in your ability.
Rockhold finally gets a good swing on one here in this set, and she tells them, let's go, 14-12. McAtee checks in, Perry checks out. And this will put Queen at the service line. You know, for us, Laura, on the broadcast that we've done so far this year, what we've seen is a lot of serve receiving errors and bad passes and teams not being able to get into system. That has not been the case here tonight.
It has not. Passing has been clean tonight on both sides of the net. Both teams playing good defense. Both teams passing well. Really, really great passing tonight. And it's why we've seen rallies.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, this has been fun volleyball to watch.
Rockhold again. Nice pass from Lopez. McAtee keeps it out of the net somehow, and Queen, nope. Whistle happened. What do we got here?
Yeah, a lift. That was a really late call on Rockhold, or no, I think it was on McAtee, but that was definitely a lift. It was just a really late call.
It was on the play trying to get it out of the net? Okay.
Yeah, it was just really late.
Rockhold goes back middle. A couple players collide. Both get up.
Once again, great defense, right?
Zing sends it over. And now what do we got?
A double hit.
Double hit here.
All right. Looked pretty clean to me.
On the set from Zing. Must have got it twice. That's the one thing on the floor they definitely hear better than we do, and they listen for those sounds. Rockhold with a missed swing, hits the top of the net, and it trickles over and falls in.
It's one of those times the net is your friend. She was definitely swinging out, but the net helped her get that one in bounds.
Jalen Smith now to serve. Frankfort with a 2-point deficit. Good block at the net.
Nice effort.
How about Tipton? They were somehow able to keep that alive. They come right back at Frankfort. Set from Bentner. Cooper drives it home. (17-14). These are fun rallies.
Absolutely.
Marissa Shirey checked back in for the Blue Devils. Bentner with the left-handed serve. Rockhold tried to fight. Great effort, Queen.
Volleyball, I have no idea how many blocks she has on the night, but it is a lot.
A lot, yeah. She leads the team. She had 38 coming in, and I feel like that number's low.
Yeah.
Because she might have 38 tonight.
Yes, she has a lot tonight.
Getting hands on it is McAtee, and great effort.
Net.
Both teams, I mean, girls are just laying it out on the floor.
I believe they called a net violation. Yes, I thought they did. Called number 3 in the net.
So Volleyball that time too close to the net.
I thought she was in the net.
Now they got to adjust the score here. It should be, I think, 18-15, or is the 19-14 score correct?
I think it should be 18-15. Yep.
And they will correct it, so it's
Yes.
a 3-point game.
Yeah. Number 3, she just got the net on the swing through.
Ashley Zing sends it over. Bentner to Volleyball, and that one wide of the court. Back to a 2-point game.
And we talked about how good the passing is tonight, and it's not because serves are cupcakes. People are serving tough. The passing has just been amazing. I mean, look at that. Tough serve, good pass.
Cooper sends it across, and Thomas could not get there. Got a hand on it, but not enough to get it up in the air. Now the libero, Lopez checks out. Ella Sloan comes in. And Rodoball back to serve for Tipton. 3-point lead, 6 points away from taking this match here tonight. If Tipton takes this in 3 straight sets, Laura, if people don't look at the scores, it's really
it doesn't
misconstrued,
tell. Yeah,
right?
it does not tell the story at all. Honestly, even if you look at the scores, it doesn't tell it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's been a battle.
It really doesn't. I mean, it's been close the entire time.
Frankfort seems like they can get to within 2. They've not been able to get any closer than that. Trying to do it here.
Nice dig.
Bentner punches it across. Smith sets Thomas.
Nice dig again.
Yeah, great passing. Cooper with a rare miss hit tonight. She puts that one into net. Frankfort within 1. McAtee to serve. Set back row. Perry there gets the block. (19-19) and a timeout taken.
I'd say if Tipton has a weak rotation, this is it.
This timeout brought to us by Day and Ginda Funeral Home, where they believe in putting family first. As active members of the community, they know that when dealing with a loss, seeing a familiar face and being treated like family is important. Day and Ginda Funeral Home will serve your family in a unique and loving way and be the family you need. For more information about the services Day and Ginda Funeral Homes offer, please visit dayandginda.com. Our last sponsor tonight is the Frankfort Eagles, post number 976, where they're serving the community since 1905 with over 900 members locally. The Frankfort Eagles offer something for everyone. For more information on who they are and what they do, visit FOE.com or stop by the Frankfort Eagles at 408 North Main Street in Frankfort. We'll thank all of our sponsors. Help us put on these tremendous events, and this is one here tonight that's probably been one of my favorite matches I've covered this season because of how competitive it has been so far.
I agree. Great block there by Brooklyn Perry and Chloe Moody.
Frankfort has come back now and taken the lead 20-19. See how the Blue Devils respond here. McAtee serve.
They need to get out of this rotation.
That's ball's
and
trouble.
They do.
Yep.
That was a great, great set by Bittner. That was, she couldn't have done anything better with that ball right there. And now they have Smith back on the front row, so that gives them options again.
Cooper on the serve. Queen with a great pass. They go to Perry.
The block again from Tipton.
Perry will just punch it across. Smith, big swing, block there. Pair of hot dogs. And then Smith hits one into the net. And you can see maybe a little unraveling here. 22-20. (21-20), excuse me. They were too fast here in the stadium. They added a point before. I usually see it change as I look up.
Nice hit.
Quick set there, and Smith once again able to make Tipton pay.
See how much more effective Brooklyn Perry was out of that middle, though? That's what I would do, is keep her in that comfort zone.
You can tell it draws those blockers up to the net right there in the middle, too, and Smith's been able to go around them. 22-21. That service error gives serve back to Tipton and Marissa Shirey. Blocked at the net. Again, a duo. Bittner's a really, and I know we've called some of these other names tonight. Her sets have been amazing, but she's done a good job blocking at the net as well for a setter.
She has.
They go to Perry. Bittner sets to Smith,
Nice.
and Tipton makes Frankfort pay. They regain the lead now, 23-22.
You talked about Bittner right there. That was an excellent play by her. Did you see she didn't set it up? She went first hit straight to a set.
I love that play.
It was, because what happened is Frankfort was still scrambling on their side to get to their base position, so they weren't ready to play defense. Bittner took it straight to Smith, who slammed it over the net. Frankfort was still scrambling. They didn't have any time to react to the play because they were still moving to their base positions. That was an excellent heads-up play by Bittner. She has played fantastic tonight.
Both of these coaches, they're earning their money here this evening.
You know, I'm glad we don't have to pick a player of the game for Tipton, because it would be impossible.
Oh, yeah, you just have to flip a coin or give it to the team.
Yeah, I mean, it would be. I mean, Bittner has played fantastic. Setting has been absolutely great. But then you look at Rodoball's blocking has been fantastic. I mean, I just couldn't pick a player on this side of the net.
I might even struggle having to pick our Clinton County player of the game tonight because of the same reasons. We've seen a lot of players play very well for Frankfort. 24-22.
I agree. I think there have been a lot of players that have played well, but one stands out to me tonight.
If I had to pick one, I would probably lean in the direction that I think you're leaning.
I think
we'll see how close we are.
Yeah. I think we have, everyone has played very well on both sides of the net tonight. I don't think either coach can go away from this with any negativity tonight. Wonderful block there by Smith and Perry.
Great job by Cooper on the dig. Smith, quick set. It works one more time.
It does, and that is set up by Carolyn Queen. Perfect pass. Not a good pass, a perfect pass.
24-23, Frankfort with the serve. It is still match point here for Tipton.
And the difference between that being a good pass and a perfect pass is she knows Jalen Smith is front row. She puts that pass high and tight so that Jalen can do what Jalen does.
This one through, all tied up at 24. A timeout here. Again, you have to win by 2. Frankfort has been so close all night long in every single set. It's just been unbelievable how close it's been.
I'd really love to see the Hot Dogs pull one out here because, like you said, if this goes 3-0, it doesn't begin to tell what kind of match this was. I'd love to see Frankfort pull out set 3 here. If nothing else, so we get another entertaining game to watch.
Both teams talk quickly. They come back out before the time even expires. I love it. Again, to use another boxing reference, it's like those two guys that stand up from the stool and they're ready before the judges are even ready to ring the bell and start the round. These two are ready to stare down, and this one too long.
That's what you call an effective timeout.
Icing the server a little bit.
Okay, so now we have a really great blocking trio up front for Tipton.
Ella Sloan on the serve. Harrington goes to Rockhold. Cooper keeps it alive. Smith
Excellent
sends it
defense.
over. They go to Perry in the middle. Perry's able to hammer one home. The timing perfect that time between Smith and Perry.
Yep, and love Perry out of the middle. We got to keep her there. Got to keep her there.
All tied up at 25. Queen on the serve. Big swing by Smith. Did that one get through?
It did.
It did. Through the block, just between the Hot Dogs and the net. And now the senior.
Okay, smart set there. See, there you go again. That volleyball IQ, Lacey Bittner. We know we have that small blocker out there on the outside for Frankfort. Take that ball to the backside and take advantage of that small block.
Smith on
volleyball IQ.
Rockhold blocked at the net. Queen there. And once again, the quick set from Jalen Smith works.
I can about tell you what the coach for Tipton is yelling at those girls right now. Well, how many times are we going to let her do that? She is now back row, so that does help. That does help.
Smith on the serve.
We also did not talk about another great block by Rodaball in that last play.
Rockhold. Oh, and then both hot dogs kind of looked at each other.
And the solo block by Bittner.
We've seen some self-inflicted mistakes at crucial times for Frankfort tonight. The long serve a minute ago when we were tied up. That play right there gives the advantage back to Tipton. Bittner on the serve. Let's see if these young lady hot dogs can overcome it. Set from Smith. And there it gets through that time. Chloe Moody.
It's a big hit from your freshman there. She's excited, you can tell.
Again, even if Frankfort loses this in 3 straight sets tonight, I don't think there's anything to hold your head about after this.
Absolutely. For either team.
If Frankfort pulls off a miraculous comeback, I don't think Tipton could hold their head. Boy, just great effort there. Communication maybe not necessarily perfect on point, but making up for it and just being there. The set.
Nice defense.
Zing keeps it alive. She gets a 5 as Queen runs by. Rodaball tries to tip it over. What a rally. 27 all. And then that one finally gets through for Cooper. 28-27.
Excellent defense by Sophia Lopez, the freshman for Tipton. She is, I think, been assigned to not let Smith dump that ball in the middle of the court.
She'll check out.
So it'll be interesting to see if someone else is going to pick that assignment up.
This one tipped by Tipton. We're all tied up at 28.
Volleyball doesn't get more exciting than this.
All 3 sets have been close. 2 of our 3 sets have gone into, extra points? Mm-hmm. Is that the terminology that I'm looking for? Just missed tip there by Cooper. Frankfort 29-28. Now the advantage for the hot dogs. Trying to make it a 2-1 match.
And a beautiful serve. Good
Lopez
job by
sends
Tipton
it over.
to keep it alive.
As the libero checked back in a moment ago. Perry, Lopez hits the floor. Cooper. They go to Thomas. And it gets through. Frankfort wins it 30-28. We've got set number 4 headed your way. What an amazing match here tonight. We'll step aside when we come back. An entertaining battle continues right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a 3rd season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, ISCSportsNetwork.com. You can see episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
Some people see a huddle in the locker room. We see a second classroom. Some see a student athlete on the court. We see a future leader in the community. You see, high school sports in Indiana are special. That's because they're about learning and growing, not just winning and losing. Fans, I'm Commissioner Paul Knighty. Support education-based athletics in Indiana by buying a ticket to your high school's next athletic event.
I brought you a present. A book.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team as they fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful, healthy smiles.
Inconceivable! Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die. Inconceivable!
To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99.
Inconceivable!
You keep using that word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Back at Case Arena, start of set number 4. What an amazing turn in events here as Frankfort able to battle back and take set number 3 to keep their hopes alive here tonight. But you see the scores on your screen, 30-28, 25-23 Tipton, and then 30-28 there for Frankfort. And now we're going to see what part of the mental game and the momentum takes over here in set number 4. Does Tipton come out fired up and respond? Does Frankfort find a little extra gas in the tank after such an exciting set 3?
You know, we talked about this earlier. No matter what happens, both teams are winners tonight. I mean, if you are either coach, you have to be pleased with this effort. Both teams are playing excellent.
We talked about the athletic director, Corey Fernung, for Tipton earlier. We wouldn't be doing any justice for Frankfort's athletic director, Ed Niehaus. We didn't mention him here tonight. A huge contributing factor to the fact that we are here with our cameras, partnered with Hot Dog TV, huge supporter of ISC Sports Network, and I appreciate it. Ed was I say Ed, Mr. Niehaus was a former teacher, former assistant coach of mine, and now the athletic director here at Frankfort, and I've always thought so highly of him. So
has been doing a great job here at Frankfort for many years. 40
years in the business as a teacher or an administrator.
I wasn't going to give him up on how many years. I was just going to say a lot of years.
And it's because I'm impressed with it.
Anybody who can work in education for that long, that's impressive.
Anybody that could put up with me for 4 years of high school deserves some kind of medal.
There is that, too.
And he's done it for 26 more years after I left.
Well, if he could put up with you for 4, he figured what's the next 26?
There, if I aged him with 40 years of teaching, I just aged myself with graduating 26 years ago. Set number 4 begins. Obviously, see who takes the first point here. Hasn't necessarily meant that's the team who wins the set throughout tonight, as it's been back and forth. But Tipton will take the first point here in set number 4 regardless. If you're just tuning in, scoreboard's a little flip-flopped here as Frankfort is wearing the white jerseys. Tipton wearing the blue jerseys tonight. With our volleyball scoreboards, it used to not matter. You just always put the home team on the right side. And now, since COVID. They don't switch benches after every single set. And so Frankfort prefers this side of the floor.
Yep. Several things changed with COVID, but that's probably the biggest change.
Tiffany Zing comes in, the lone senior for Frankfort.
I actually like that. It keeps things moving in between the games.
For sure.
Better.
You don't have to pick up your water bottles and all your stuff and move and, just stay where you're at.
It's the same. The court's measures exactly the same. It's fine.
You know, I did ask Coach Kesterson, why that would be a reason to switch. And she said that there are some gyms that she's been in where there's been some airflow issues and it's more of an advantage.
Yes, or windows that, in
sunlight.
Certain times of the day, sunlight and things coming in. And you can actually petition for there to be side changes, if you have those aggravating factors. It was a nice hit by Smith.
Swing through the block. Frankfort leads 3-2. Tipton gets a serve back here. It'll be Shirey who heads back to the service line for the Blue Devils. I know for me, if I was coaching, I would love to just come in and be on one side of the floor and just kind of stake my claim and patrol my sideline and wear my path out.
I would think 95% of the time, you know, it's a non-factor. And it's good for the crowd too. You know, you get the crowd on your one side and they stay there. It's a good thing all around.
Smith on the set, goes to Perry. Perry hammers one home, 4-3 Frankfort. It's been awesome to see Brooklyn fight through it tonight as they're starting to click now, her and Smith. Things felt off a little bit earlier, but Perry being a fighter. Mom is a trauma nurse and Dad's a former professional boxer, so she's used to being tough. We'll just put it that way.
And you know what? Jalen Smith, you have to give her credit in this too, is even when they were struggling, she didn't stop going to her. She showed her confidence in her hitter. And even when Rockhold came in, who's her other strong hitter, she could have went right to Rockhold, but she didn't. She stayed confident and still kept going to Perry and let Perry know, I'm confident in your ability to pull yourself out of this slump.
Bittner goes to Smith. That one tipped and kept alive. Smith on the kill, able to get that one down in front of Queen. Boy, it's one of the rare times tonight that we haven't seen Queen pull off the dig.
Yep. We've got the dynamic trio of blocking up there for Tipton right now.
That is the best swing of the night from any Frankfort player as Rockhold hammers that one home.
Absolutely, and not where you usually see her hit from. So I kind of like that, actually.
What a great last name for a volleyball player, too. It just feels like Rockhold. Yeah.
I do like that. I think caught Tipton off guard a little bit. They did not double block her out there. Double hit on Rockhold.
Frankfort called for the violation. Justine Thomas checks back in. 6-5 as things stay super close here. We expected a good match tonight. I know Coach Rushton, in talking to her in preparation, she expected a good match tonight.
Man.
I don't know that we all expected it to be this good.
No, you and I talked about it like, oh, this should be a close match, but I had no idea it was going to be this close.
Smith's got to run out into the concessions area to go get the volleyball back. I'd be asking for a little popcorn while I was out there as well. Maybe a shot of Gatorade or something.
It's like Gatorade. That's what she probably would like, is some Gatorade.
Maybe she can order me some popcorn up here. Smith goes to Thomas. Thomas winds up on one. Good defense from Tipton. A free opportunity here for the Hot Dogs.
Nice block.
Yep.
Call a 4 hit.
Block was definitely in place, even if the ball wasn't into the net. Great height, too, for Tipton. It's not listed on their roster, but you can just tell looking out there that
they definitely
they've
have
got
some height.
length. Yeah. Pinch poke, Yomi a Coke. We've been doing this too long, my friend, if we're completing each other's sentences.
For sure.
Cooper winds up, but she hits one home. If Tipton pulls out set number 4 here, that will conclude the match. If Frankfort is able to win their second set in a row, it will force a game number 5. And when we get to 5, we only play to 15. But these two teams still, if that scenario were to occur, might play to 30.
Who knows?
Marissa Shirey with a kill there for Tipton, 8-7.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of kills from her tonight, but she's definitely played her role, and she's come through when they've needed her. I just love the balance of this Tipton team.
Good block. I'm with you. I see a much better team than their record shows.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they're I mean, they do have a tough schedule. They do have a tough schedule, but there are some of those games that I'm just really surprised that they didn't win.
McAtee fights through the block there and gets the point for Frankfort. Now she'll head to the service line. Perry checks back in on that front row.
They were just a little early on that block. I think they're used to quicker arm swings with Perry and Rockhold, so they were up and on their way back down by the time that ball got hit.
Ventnor sets to Rotobaugh.
Nice dig. Block.
And Perry swing and a miss there. Gives the point to Tipton.
Yeah, but I think Rotobaugh was in her head. She was up there with the big block, and Perry had to see that, and I think that's been the difference tonight. I really think if you think about the first 3 games in this game, it's the block right there. You just saw it again, but it's the block. When you think about all these games have been 2 points. If you take the blocking away from Tipton, Frankfort wins.
For sure.
That is the X factor.
And defense travels.
It does.
I mean, that's one of those things where Tipton's going to be able to hang their hat on that every match the rest of the way this season, and they defensively are probably one of the better teams I've seen this season.
Absolutely. Certainly the best blocking team I've seen this season.
Rotobaugh does a good job of keeping that one off of her face.
Yeah. I mean, just think about it. You have hardly seen any balls just hit the floor.
No, it's been rare. It's been touched, deflected in some way, shape, or form. 11-9. Morgan Harrington in for the Hot Dogs.
Now, if you're Tipton, you got to be aware that Jalen Smith is on front row. Be ready for her to tip that ball right over into the middle of the court.
And Perry hammers one home as Lopez thought that was out. She let it go. Cooper, great
Nice
diving
dig.
effort by Zing. It's got to get over. It does. What an effort by Frankfort. And now a great effort by Tipton.
The defense has just been fantastic tonight.
Oh, look at that. Gets a hand on it. Cooper plays it to the middle of the floor. Back corner, but too long. 12-10 now, Tipton with a 2-point lead.
Wonderful rally. Great defense played by both teams.
Again, the block at the net, getting a piece of it, deflecting it, allowing your team to come up and clean up for you. 3-point lead now for Tipton. A timeout taken by Coach Rushton. Feeling this one starting to slip away.
And if I was her, I would run Brooklyn Perry in the middle here again, not in the outside.
Looking ahead to Friday night, these Tipton Blue Devils, the boys football team, will play host to Northwestern. That kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. Coach Aaron Tolley having a little bit of a down season. His 19th year at the school. They're 1-4 to start, but they have had some tough teams early on in their schedule. They faced West Lafayette, Tippecanoe Valley, and Central Catholic, and those are 3 teams in football that are just plain tough to beat.
Who else do you have on for Friday for football?
I'll be honest with you. I would have to pull our schedule.
Yeah.
We've got so many games Friday night that I'm not even sure who all we have. Frankfort's on the road at Western Boone this coming Friday. Hot Dogs trying to get their their second victory of the season. They won in week 1 against Clinton Central. They've had some tough showing since.
Well, if you're a football fan, tune into ISC on Friday night. Lots of options.
I can tell you pretty quickly. Keep a schedule on me here from time to time.
4-point lead here for Tipton, probably one of the biggest leads of the night. Another block by Tipton.
15-10.
This time you have Smith and Sloan on the block.
A 5-point lead. We'll see if Tipton gets another point here, if Coach Rushton elects to take another timeout. Diving effort there from Cooper.
Nice kill for Zing. Got Rockhold and Keck coming back in.
I know one of our crews is headed down to Washington. They're unveiling the brand new stadium there for the Washington Hatchets. I know people talk about the Hatchet House where Washington plays basketball and other sports. So Pike Central against Washington. We'll have that one for you on Friday night. Southmont versus Danville is another one that's on our airwaves on Friday night. A lot of college broadcasts headed your way with our partnership at Marion University. It's so tough in season, Laura, when you say what's coming up on the schedule, because I can only focus on like 2 to 3 days at a time because there's so much of it.
Well, so many fall sports too.
I know that I'm here tonight. I'll be the Clinton Prairie Frankfort volleyball game on Thursday.
A rare passing error by Queen. She has played great defense tonight.
Frankfort fans will have a soccer doubleheader for you next week, as both the boys and girls will play. It's part of a change in schedule due to weather and other things. 6-point lead for Tipton.
Wow, that was an amazing pickup over there by Cooper. I think that block probably got a little bit of tip on it, and she knew she had to pick that up even though it was going out.
You go back to Smith. The block is there. Cooper keeps it alive, though.
Perry saying, we didn't touch that. Perry says that was 4 hits, but the referee and umpire didn't see it that way.
So the point for Tipton. Justine Thomas comes in for Frankfort. Shirey on the service line for Tipton.
Tipton needs to watch for the tip again. Smith still on the front row. And I'm sure that Coach Henry has Sophia Lopez on that assignment.
Caroline Queen, the libero on the serve, the freshman. Bentner to Smith. The block there, but out of bounds. So point for Tipton. So tough. She swings with such power that even though the block was good, it's got to land in play. It does not.
Yeah, and really the key on that block is getting up and over, penetrating that net. Instead of letting that ball come to you and you're letting that ball come off of a flat surface, you penetrate the net. And what I always say is you put a roof on the house, and you are putting that ball down to the floor instead of having a flat plane, and that ball comes off of your arms and goes deep into the court. So I think that was Smith on that. She has got to get it up and over the net, penetrate that net, and put the roof on the house.
And then stay out of the net as well. when you do that.
Yeah, she's a good enough athlete to do that. And she's got good jump skills.
The more I call games with you and learn about volleyball, the more impressed I am with the talent that it takes to play the game.
It is not an easy game to play.
Yeah.
It is not an easy game to play.
There's so much more that goes into it than just hitting the ball over the net back and forth. I mean,
it is a very strategic game. People don't realize that. It is a thinker's game. It's kind of like football, what I always feel like with football. Football is a very strategic game, and volleyball is also a very strategic game.
That one off the hands of Harrington.
Great job for a rota ball. Nice little off-speed hit.
This one's starting to slip away from Frankfort now. 8-point deficit.
I think that's the biggest deficit of the night for either team.
Tipton will try to rattle off 5 more points and close this out here tonight in 4 sets. Smith goes over quick. Tipton ready for it, and Smith makes him pay. One Smith makes the other Smith pay.
And I'd be prepared to see Smith try to take that ball over again on the second hit.
That one long. Rockhold put some power to it, but a little too much.
If you see Smith for Frankfort Smith, get a nice high, tight pass, she'll take it over on the second hit.
Rockhold this time. Nobody home. Makes it a 9-point game again, 22-13. Now Jalen Smith at the service line.
Nice dig by Queen.
Bentner goes back to Smith. She just tips it over the defense.
I love that little roll shot. And here's what I love about that. The aggressive approach, the fast arm swing, and then she just stop at the top. Nobody read that. I didn't read that. I usually read it. I didn't read that. That was wonderful. Absolute great deception.
Rockhold starting to warm up here for Frankfort. You got to wonder, though, if it's too late here in Game 4 with what feels like an insurmountable lead.
It's interesting. I really like Rockhold out of the middle and the right side more than I like her out of the outside. But I realize that Rushton needs a go-to on the outside. But depending on what happens and what Rushton has coming up in the next couple years, I don't know that you don't look at Rockhold in the middle or the right side in the future. She hits really well out of those two positions.
Match point here for Tipton. Bentner on the serve.
Wonderful pass by Queen.
Tipton ready for Smith's quick set that time. Rotoball sends it over. Smith from the back row catches the top part of the net.
Lopez has done a really good job for Tipton also as a freshman libero, has really done a nice job. Block again.
Net.
Another
hand,
touch.
Yeah. Frankfort sends it over. Now an opportunity. They go to Rotoball. That one tipped by Frankfort. Falls out of play, and Tipton gets the win 25-14. They will take this in 4 sets here at Frankfort High School.
But I still think, like we said before this 4th game, there is no loser tonight. You know, Frankfort played fantastic, and they have nothing to hang their head about tonight.
Set number 1, 30-28 for Tipton. They took set number 2, 25-23. Set number 3 took extra points as well, 30-28. Frankfort took that one, and Tipton responds big here in set 4, 25-14. They take this 3-1. Laura, our Frankfort Eagles Clinton County player of the game tonight is none other than, I'll let you call it,
Carolyn Queen.
Carolyn Queen is going to be our player of the game tonight, and she did a fantastic job. She really did. I know when I was asking you earlier, what do you think? And you kind of pointed. That was a thumbs up for me. She was fantastic tonight.
Consistent through all 4 sets, not just on defense, but her serve receive was excellent. Also, she never really had a downtime. I mean, just complete consistency from point 1 to the end of the match. Absolutely helped keep Frankfort in the game the entire time.
The Blue Devils will improve to 11-7 on the season. Frankfort will fall to 10-13. Again, we'll have Frankfort on Thursday night as they travel to Clinton Prairie to take on the Gophers on the ISC Sports Network. Tonight's game was a presentation of the Frankfort Eagles, Post 976, where they are people helping people. By Day and Genda Funeral Home, proud supporters of high school athletics in Clinton and Carroll County. By Healthy Communities of Clinton County, making the healthy choice the easy choice. And by Mulberry Telecommunications, Mintel Fiber Services offer the best gig in town. That's going to do it. Hats off to our tremendous Hot Dog TV crew tonight. For Laura Archibald, I'm Sean Walker. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you will join us Thursday night as Frankfort takes on the Clinton Prairie Gophers right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This